remarked myself in pain, but I see the beauty. I see mirrored creatures in the havens. I see water in the meadows, in their plain. Withered away was the skeletal organisms in the utopian sun-littered cave systems. Italy seen in plain daylight, but rays of shown waves, clouded by the imagery deep. In the deepest of darkness, we see the hints of light moving and embarking towards us. Italian mountains shadowed the monuments. Rome was the display of awakened love in prime. Bring a satchel and become a vagabond to the open scenery of lands discovered so deep in the misery, but misery was a choice here. I didn't ever want to make you feel that way, the way your father treated you. The sun remarked to be cast on your beauty as it shielded you from the pessimistic endeavors they endured and encouraged the endangering of you. Holy mountains treated us to feel for the men who walked through the fields that they embarked to set forth to war. The shore is mean and is talking to us from the open waters ahead. It is screaming at us to be the concrete continuation of our dreams. The seeds blossom into trees, the knees and the legs that you try to tread into the ground, to show the soil not being a matter of pain of mind anymore, just nature cursing our hearts to feel and release and reminisce, constantly conceptualized and conceptually concerning, conceptual knowledge furthering our own love of the world and this motion and notion of life discovered in the brain, our everlasting memories soar as we sat there to see what our lives couldn't be, or for what we wanted them to be, or what you never shown your love to lead. I have never felt more seen by nature, more than the moments that begin to summit their arise. I was so young. I was so tired, sitting in the open air. I was so full of the dull way we need to feel free in life, within acquaintances. I was the only person who knew what he wanted to be. Becoming of entity started to arise. The size was much too large for you, my dear love. You were too big for this magnitude of this open world we settled into. You, my love, the beautiful soul that was there for all the materialistic fabrication to swallow up you and your design and chew you into obscurity for the mean sake of the world, to column with treasures and darkness fed there, overwhelming pleasures. The mesmerized Italian waves, Gillian sane and insane, clay compacted and concentrated into the water as we stepped into, as the waves took their characteristic shapes, meddled shame as you looked at me with the innocence of your Gillian smile and bodily appearance. The beauty that you displayed spoke to me beyond the clouds that center and make their appearance to be so crucial to God's gifted earth. Mercy kills and love bleeds, for it to be vice versa. The night murders, the morning birthed in the breeze, calmness. As the shaman sees me, appeared as a Loch Ness, the monster that was Earth, and life was shocked by this. The beauty preempted the false realities of life, being a figment of horror to be beyond untrue. Our understanding is mere speculation, to being illusion of mixed truth, but love and war was also our definition of insanity versus comprehended shielding of human suffering and behavioralistic copied with salt, bodied with matters and martyrs of misdirection. But the teachers never spoke in sheer confession. Therefore, they met their exact lessons. When the war was over, it was hefty to mention and murmur a thought of reference. Inside shimmers of fear and despair, deeper the leer. We face another face towards us, now more gritty and realistic than ever, reduced to fears. Tears and lies we are, and now the world does exactly what it pleases to us. Therefore we are puppets of the Maker, and so that is all. As I see you on the streets, faded into complete obscurity of the essence you once were. Now as you cast away and leave my sight, never to be seen by the sights of me ever again, that is what Italy left me either. The beauty of the country and the woman who lost more than we could ever imagine. Sit and take it all in, for you are not magic as much as the world is the miracle that is, that it was presented to prove. Set out to be the person you can be so proud of, being within yourself in this country and world collided. The volumes of columns sided upwards to be seen in the shimmering textures of the sun, traveling its light to meet the pinnacle of the monuments and trees we can see in the forests, and open wide spaces seen from the treeless fields as they are remarked so beautifully as the blades of grass made sure we won't stray our minds away from the moment we are so fond of experiencing. To relax from the sometimes heavy hell of a life and reside calmly and effortlessly into the mild breeze as the sun entered its warmth, as it surrounded it in the momentum of it all, for it to be perfectly fall into pieces, shattered and shown into the airs. Mindlessly wayward movement, you can almost grasp the extent of how the universe has changed since we were last here, to see and to move and appear in the imagery the beauty calls to be, seen with the same intensity that the lens practiced itself to make us all feel simultaneously in colors, interconnected with all the different emotions we needed to speak outwards, to be inserted inwards, so that only we could study, live in our last breaths. For it is important to know how we can see and feel the world around us, and see our thoughts in our own time, how it shone crime, how it made us believe in chimes of freedom that can be flashing and heard in the wakening of the future. For only we can make those foreshadows ultimately real and possible. The lack of your love on earth is beyond shameful. The love for yourself was past baneful. For your friends were disdainful, but you trusted the others more than them. Therefore, Italy had swallowed you up and shallowed you, for me to see the landscapes of the country and remembrance our time together, open in the wide view of plain photographic sights. We tested the nights by making it seem in our minds that we were indeed invincible. And forgive us, God, as we thought we were invisible to the sights of your temperance, teaching and guidance that we were too naive to realize in a minute of extent. We were much too afraid of being wasted away, far too young and wary of what was to come and what we hadn't accomplished yet. And forgive us if our accomplishments were made to be designed with fear and lack of lusterness. For the sea covered our dreams away as we walked on the shores in the middle of those summer days, afraid to see what could not be possible to experience, and remained fond of a better way out of the harsh realities that the world would teach us soon enough, when we were older and far too away from allowing ourselves to be kids anymore. The gift of youth then faded away too easily for us to even remark what the point and the bliss was. But of course, as we grew old, we knew what it all meant to us back then. Then we strive to get back to the times, so then the cycle of a pathway to perishing forms and starts embracing and emerging from the entryways of the darkness that now we and our still vigorously spry minds grant access to devilish individuals that usher in with intentions that meet the darkest pits you can never see the ends to, the undermost of them, as its appearances comprehensively faded in the indefinite disformation. So I say farewell to you, and might we see each other again, if only the world can tell us where we can meet once more in the open plain view, as imagery can focus itself in the zenith of beauty.